Merci. Odunde. Hi, everyone, and Happy New Year 2024 again. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I'm LARISA GABU from Norway, and I'm from Cameroon. I'm so excited about having my dear sister here. She lives in Paris, in France. Bienvenue, ma chère sœur.
Merci beaucoup, ma sœur.
Le plaisir est le mien aussi. Que tu sois sur ma chaîne ce soir, je suis très, très, très enchantée. Thank you for coming. And Omo, tell me, how is your year, this new year?
Oh, yes, that's true. Happy New Year, by the way. It's been a wonderful year in the sense that I feel very happy and hopeful because this is the year that marks more or less like a comeback year for me. So for me, it's like a glorious year. I see it as a glorious year, a year that's going to be very fulfilling, a year that's going to be very um, you know, a beautiful year. So I'm very hopeful and excited.
It sounds very, very good. Thank you for honoring my invitation. And yeah, would you like to present yourself to people
Yes,
watching?
okay, absolutely. My name is OMO BELLO. I'm an opera singer. So I love the way it's said in French, cantatrice. That's very dignified, you know.
Yeah,
The French are very elegant. So
yeah,
cantatrice.
very elegant.
So so that means my profession is classical singing. I sing and I'm from Lagos,
Mhm.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
I was born there and grew up there. So it's a very curious thing to have a Nigerian, I'm from Nigeria, who fell in love with this art, opera, and pursued it up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I love to say that my story is one of passion and also grace because it's not ordinary to have this love for this art that's foreign to me. And in Lagos, Nigeria, my colleagues would listen to in this hip hop and Afro beats and all of that in university, and I was not interested in that. I was more interested in Italian opera, and I was very weird to everybody. So I think there was one thing to have that passion, and then there was another thing to have the opportunities to be able to fulfill the desires and the ambitions and all of that. So that's where I feel that grace found me. And then my path was laid with a lot of people I call angels,
Mm.
who came at opportune moments to sort of um take me along and help me along on that path to
Yeah.
becoming an opera singer. Because it's one thing to be born in the West, in Europe, and to be able to pursue this art, but it's another thing to be born in Lagos, Nigeria, where there's no opera house, where there's no
Mm-hmm.
conservatoire, where there's no theater of performing arts, and the infrastructure is just not there. The culture is
Mm-hmm.
different. And so
Yeah.
um I find that this opportunity that was given to me also came with a lot of responsibility to see
Mm.
through um to see it through. And I always feel like I have this responsibility to since I've been given this opportunity to be able to accomplish what is expected of me.
Mm.
And so I see myself as happy, fulfilled to be able to do what I love to do, which is to sing opera. I didn't start out singing opera, although it was a hobby. I started out as a scientist. So I
Okay.
went to the university, being that there's no conservatoire, I studied the cell biology and genetics. So I'm a scientist also in my former life.
Yeah.
And yes, so I feel like I've covered it. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a child of God. Yes, I'm so many things. But more importantly, um I'm happy to be able to live and do what I love to do, which is to
Exactly.
sing.
Wonderful, beautiful, beautiful. There's something to work like having a normal profession and something to do what you love and passion for. And by the way, I see you look very young. And I think one of the secret of your youth is that you enjoy your life. And I'm 45 this year, and I know that this has been my secret. Sometimes people ask me, how are you doing that, Larissa? You keep on looking like 25, 30. I say, take care of your inner beauty most. And one of the things to enjoy your life. When we see children, they're enjoying their life. Of course, there's stress everywhere. But every time when we go to bed, let's put down the stress because we were not born with that. And let's wake up every day, every year with hope. When I speak with you, I feel like you have so much positivity, and that's also probably the secret that you have. And I would like to hear, where have you been, in what opera house have you sung? Because of recent, I know you were in US, you've been on TV. Tell us about your journey, about you were, yeah.
Okay, so yes, the my opera career started out more or less after I finished the conservatoire. And so that would be about 2011, thereabouts. So that's more or less the point where I was done with the singing studies. And then had the agent, the manager, and then from there started doing professional engagements. My career has actually taken me on most of the continents of the world except Australia. So, but usually what happens is, as an opera singer, I sing on stage in the form of a concert where I'm singing the singer and then maybe a pianist or a little orchestral ensemble, or with an orchestra. So that's the full orchestra of about, depending, it can be 50, 80 people, musicians with a conductor. That's in concerts, right?
Yes.
And then also on stage, I could be singing in the opera. So in this case, there's the costumes and the lights and acting, and then playing a part, while singing, So in these different forms, I've been able to sing in a lot around the world, right? Now, so how many? Where do I go from? Paris, around France, around Europe, in the big concert halls. Oh, there's so many places where to start from. But for me, the most important is the fact that the opera singer is very diverse. So you could be singing on TV, like you saw in the BBC interview I did, where I'm just in front of a camera and I'm just playing around singing in a sort of spontaneous way. And then I could be in a serious with all the protocol required in a concert, dressed up and formally and singing, or in an opera house where you are all in a costume and playing a role. There's so many of them. From the Théâtre des Champs-Élysées to the Opéra de Reims, the festivals. We also have the festivals, the music festivals, the theaters, the opera houses, the concert halls or the philharmonies. So yeah, it's very diverse and varied. What one of the most special ones for me that I love to say, because these ones I just spoke about are part of the profession, so it's very normal for me to sing in that form. But the one that was really special for me was when I was invited to, I think the first time was 2007 or 2009, if I'm not mistaken. I was invited to Abuja, which is the capital of Nigeria. There was this initiative to do a opera in Abuja. And we were invited, and there's no opera house, right? So it was in this Congress hall. And usually when we sing without amplification. We sing in a hall and there's no microphones. It's just the voice, the pure power of the voice that's carried to the audience. But in this case, it was a Congress hall, so it was not made for opera singing. So we had to use the mics and all of that. So I remember when I came out and I sang, and these people seated about what, 2,000, 3,000 people. And then I sang the Juliet's aria from Romeo and Juliet by Gounod, Juliet and Romeo and Juliet. And in this aria, at the end, we have this high C. And then I sang the and then, usually in the formal concerts, you have the singer, and then the audience, they know that you wait for the music to finish before you clap. But in this case, the people heard, and then they just stood up. So shocked. They didn't even bother to wait for the accompanist to finish playing. They just rose on their feet and they were almost like you would have in a football stadium.
Wow.
And then for me, that was so special because it's like this feeling that, people usually tend to come to, in that part of the world, people come to Hello?
Yes, no.
Yes, you
It's
have me?
okay. And in that part of the world, people come to.
Yes, but in that part of the world, people come to to understand opera as being, that's old people's music, or that's music for funerals, or that's boring music.
Yes.
And there you have those people there hearing it for the first time live. And that was the spontaneous reaction, And so that goes to show for me that music is felt in the heart. It's not something that you can say, no, this is this music, this is that music. Music is something that you connect with your heart. You cannot explain it in the head. These are people who, for the first time, most of them were hearing opera for the first time, opera music. And then that was the spontaneous reaction, joy, uproar. And this, they couldn't contain it.
No.
So that's, for me, was really special because it made me understand that, my people can like opera if they get to know it.
Exactly. And I can imagine how you feel like giving back to your community, bringing this back home. It means a lot. And I know you have probably project. What are you thinking in the future to do with that in Africa, maybe?
Yes. So my desire would be to have to see, come to be an opera house. So an opera house, a music conservatoire, a performing arts center. This whole it's a performing. It's like this performing arts city, or shall we say, performing arts city with an opera house, a concert hall, a conservatoire, and and there's of course the orchestra, the mass choir, and the students learning music and all of that, because I feel like that will go a lot in helping with even the traditions of music. A lot of it is lost because it's not formally written down. So that means that one way or the other, the influence of having these formal institutions and formal music in that part of the world will also help the music from that part of the world to be put into paper, and that helps to keep the heritage for posterity. So yes, for me, of course, that's the dream, to see in my lifetime that those types of projects come to being, those cultural projects, because I know it's for example, in my country, Nigeria, most of what counts is these industrial projects of building bridges, building petrol industry, and all the big projects that go with the fast developing big cities. And so much of the time, culture is not really put into those calculations. So I think it would help a lot to sort of add the cultural side of things in these types of fast developing African cities. You know,
and since your heart is burning for this, I always say we are all unique and be called for a special purpose. We don't copy someone else's destiny, and you were probably born for this. That's why God opened this door for you and to give back to your community. And I'm so amazed. I'm proud of what you have in your heart. What you have achieved so far is so great. I remember I used to just follow you when we have not got in touch yet on Facebook, and then I used to be amazed how you succeed this, because it's not that easy for women in color to go that far in Europe, but with the hand of God, you stood, you persevere, and today you have a message for now and for the next generation. Thank you so much for coming on my show. And I don't know if you have a word of encouragement to say to someone outside there who maybe have a dream or maybe thinking to join. Say something to what drives you to encourage someone.
Okay, with pleasure. Yes, because the African woman, yes, I know is resilient because of the amount of adversity she faces. I know that my story is one that will inspire a lot of women, you know, not only, but, you know, particularly. So I would like to say to the young woman, to the young lady, to the young girl who has a dream and it looks impossible to realize, I would like to say to her that the first thing for me is to work very hard. So when I mean work hard, I mean the type of passion, dedication, focus. It can be quite brutal when you want to do something that nobody has done before. Mm-hmm. So don't forget that God blesses the work of our hands. Mm-hmm. So that means that the hands have to do the work for God to bless it. So that part of the work, the hard work, for me is very important, and it's something that today seems to be we lose focus. Today, people want things to be fast. People want things to happen almost immediately. Yes, people want nobody. The patience. People are losing patience. That dedication, that focus of continuing doing things, to continue doing the thing, and to invest oneself in it. Mm-hmm. So I would like to encourage hard work, because hard work is not, you cannot skip that part. No. Now, in addition to hard work, I would like to encourage prayers, because, you know, there's this part of the divine in my story. You know, I was telling you about that it's impossible otherwise to have me from Lagos, Nigeria, you know, be able to fulfill the dream of becoming an opera singer. So the part of that divine intervention into my journey, that's, you know, is clear, you know. So hard work with prayers and hope, because along the way there was a lot of discouragement, as you can imagine, a lot of frustration, a lot of trials, a lot of a lot of moments where it looked impossible, completely impossible for this to happen. But to keep hope, you know, hope against hope. When there's no hope, to keep hoping, because the most important thing is not to give up. It always looks at times like this is not possible, you know. And in those times, is never stop, never give up, never lay down, just pick up and going. Just keep it. And it may look like this is just not possible, especially an artistic career. I think sometimes it's hard. It's the same thing in sports maybe, but I think artistic careers tend to be quite frustrating. There are moments where it's not always up, up, up. No, there's a lot of bottom grinding, you know, that people don't see. No. So the people don't see that part, and they don't see all the frustrations and all the failures, all the failures, a lot of failures come. But the most important thing is not the failure. The most important thing is to continue, because as long as you continue, there is hope that you will make. If you stop, it's already over, you know? So my encouragement is to continue. And then one day, with prayers and hard work, opportunity will meet you at that point, you know? Hope against hope, because when you believe in something, you have to be really, really insane about it, you know? When I was doing classical music, everybody was like, my family, my friends, my entire community looked at me like this weirdo. And then, you know, because that's not my culture. So where did you get this from? Everybody was wondering, you know? So you have to be willing to go against the flow and to keep at it until your breakthrough, voila, your breakthrough finds you. And I hope that is able to encourage somebody today.
Oh, that's encouraged so much. Me, myself, I feel like, okay, this is for me, actually. I feel so encouraged. Wonderful, wonderful. And this carry a lot of message, and I know someone is going to be blessed, encouraged. And I hope that you're gonna come back to my show to speak more to women, to everyone. Thank you, Omo, for coming, and take care, and we see you soon again. Bye.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
À bientôt. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Merci.